Okay, so what we're doing today is we are once again going over parallel and perpendicular lines. Why? Because if you don't understand it, then how can you take the quiz and pass it? Clearly you didn't understand the first two worksheets I gave you, so we're going to try for the third worksheet. This is the last time I get in teaching it. If you still don't get it after this, it is your responsibility to come and get one-on-one help. Clearly you guys saw your quiz grades, so you know if you need one-on-one help, correct? Our game plan for this week today, I'm going to be going over 2-3 worksheets. Then tomorrow you'll be having a quick quiz over it. Wednesday, you will then be having a paper quiz over it. And Thursday, you are going to be doing the concept bite for 2-4, which is piecewise functions. On Wednesday, after your quiz, the quiz should take you 20 minutes. After the quiz, you then are going to listen to a 2-4 concept bite video. Okay? There will be Edmodo questions you have to answer after that. Are we all clear on that? How do we answer Edmodo questions? Click turn in, and then type your response in that area. Yay or nay. Not reply, turn in. Okay? Any questions over that? Okay, worksheet 2-4, worksheet 3. I give you 0, 1, parallel to y equals negative 2x plus 3. So step 1, what do? Take the equation and solve it for y. Is this thing solved for y? Yes, it is. This is solved for y. I simply can box it in, and then I can say, okay, well, what do I need out of here? Slope. I need the slope, and my slope is negative 2. So now that I know what my slope is, I'm going to take my slope, and I'm going to read the problem. I'm going to say, well, what do I need out of here? I need a parallel line, correct? Which means I need a parallel slope. So what's my parallel slope? Negative 2. And then I'm going to take my point 0, 1. Anybody tell me the significance of the point 0, 1? There's a 0 in the x position, which would imply what about the y? Now, more importantly, this is the point 0b. Do we understand that? It's 0b, which means I can go right to my equation. And I can say y is equal to negative 2x plus 1. No work required, is there? Because I gave you the point being the y-intercept, the point 0b. Yay or nay, folks?
That's the question at the end of our program.
I wonder if I would have done something like that.
Yeah.
Okay, number 3. Number 3, they give you the point negative 2, 1, parallel to 10x plus 4y is equal to negative 8. So step 1, what do I do?
Solve for y.
Solve for y. So what do I do? Subtract 10x from both sides. Because we're trying to get y by itself. So negative 10x minus 8. Then divide each term by the value 4. So y is equal to, can I reduce negative 10 over 4? What is that?
Yeah.
They're both even. 10 divided by 2 is negative 5. 4 divided by 2 is 2. Minus 2. So there's my equation. Now what do I want out of that equation? Your slope, and your slope is going to be negative 5 over 2. Okay, so now I go back to my problem. What am I looking for in my problem? I'm looking for a parallel line, which means I need a parallel slope. So what's my parallel slope to negative 5 over 2?
5 over 2.
Positive, or negative 5 over 2 still. Doesn't turn into positive, stays negative still. Okay? Now I'm going to take my point, negative 2, negative positive 1, and what am I going to use? Which method?
Y equals mx.
Y equals mx plus b, okay? When I'm using y equals mx plus b, what do I label my point as?
X and y.
X and y. This is not the shortcut. Why is this not a shortcut?
Because it is 0 at the end.
Because it's not the x does not have 0 in its position. So I immediately plug and chug. Y is going to be 1. M is negative 5 over 2. X is going to be negative 2 plus b. Well, what happens to the negative times the negative? It becomes a positive. What happens to my 2's? They cancel out. So I'm left with a 5 plus b here. What do I do now?
Subtract that.
Subtract the 5. Negative 4 is equal to b. So now I found b. Now what do I find for my answer?
Y equals negative 5 2
Or minus 4 or plus negative 4, whichever one you want to do. Okay. Do we all see that one? Yay or nay? Now's the time to ask the question. If you don't get it, you need to stop me. Do we get this? Visual or verbal?
with the fractions all the time. Like when it has two fractions, if it has like a fraction on that side, a fraction on this side,
Okay, why did I not get rid of the fractions here? Because what happened to my 2's?
they cancel.
They cancel. If they cancel out, then you don't have to get rid of them. How do you know if they cancel out?
If there's a same number in the denominator.
If they have a common factor in between them, okay? All right, number 5. 0, 3 perpendicular to y equals negative 9x minus 1. Step 1. Take the equation and do what? Solve for y. Well, guess what? It's already solved for y. What do I need out of there? Or slope. So my slope is going to be negative 9. So now look through the problem. What does the problem ask you to get?
Perpendicular.
A perpendicular slope. So therefore, I want a perpendicular slope at from negative 9. And what is that going to be? Positive, because it's opposite of that. The reciprocal, which is going to be 1/9. Do we see that, yes or no? Now what do I do? I'm going to label my point. This is going to be x, this is going to be y, but what is unique about this point? X has a 0 in it, which means that is what value up there actually? That is actually b value is 3, so I can go right to my equation mx plus b. M is going to be 1/9, x stays, and b is going to be 3. Done. Do we see that? Number 7. Okay, what do you notice? It's already solved for y. It's already solved for y. What do I know about this thing? That is what? No. Negative 3 is not the slope. Is there any x in this equation? No. B is negative 3. But more importantly, I need your brain to think of the slope picture. Okay? And where is this going to be at? It's going to be right here. Okay? So what you're telling me is that we have this lovely little picture right here going on. I have 1, 2, 3. There it is, y equals negative 3. Now I want what type of a line to that? I want a perpendicular line to a horizontal line. What is a perpendicular line to a horizontal line?
Vertical.
A vertical line. And more importantly, I need that vertical line to go through the point 1, 2, 3, 4, the point 4, negative 6. So what is that line going to look like? Well, we know it's going to be vertical. And what's the equation going to look like? What's the equation of a vertical line? Let's go on a treasure hunt. X equals, X marks the spot, remember, because it's undefined. So, and it's going to be taking this value, and X equals 4. Nope, nope, nope. Okay? Do you know why some of you missed this because you didn't pay attention to when they are vertical and horizontal? I had 2 of them on there. Okay, so you have to watch those. Number 9. What do I do with number 9? The answer number 7 is just x equals 4.
Solve for y.
Solve for y. So what do I do? Add 5 to both sides. And I have 4y is equal to x plus 9. Now what? Divide each term, please, by 5. This really messed with some of your brains. It's a 1/5. Very good, Casey. If you need to see that phantom 1, then don't make it a phantom and actually put the 1 there. Okay, because there is a 1 under 6 feet here. If it's driving you nuts and you need to see it, put it there. What's my slope? 1/5. This messed with many people's minds on the quiz. Okay, you guys do better when you see a number there. As soon as I take a number away, you guys really mess up. So now, I need to find what here?
Parallel.
I need to find a parallel slope. So my parallel slope is going to be still 1/5. We used mx plus b last time, so I'm going to go ahead and use the other method. Y minus y1 is equal to m times x minus x1. I label my point x1, y1. So that's y minus 8 is equal to 1/5 times x minus 3. Do I need to multiply everything by 5, or do I need to distribute?
Multiply by 5.
Why do I want to multiply by 5? Because that 3 is not divisible by this 5. Do we understand that? Since that 3 is not divisible by that 5, I need to go ahead and multiply each term by 5 to get rid of that denominator. Because you all hate fractions. So that's going to give me 5y minus 40. What happens to the 5s? They cancel out, and I just drop down the other chunk. Not distribute into the parentheses, correct? Okay, so now what do I do? 5y minus 40 is equal to x minus 3. Do you see that that doesn't change anything there? Now what?
Add 40.
Add 40 to both sides. And I have 5y is equal to x plus what?
43.
37.
Oh,
You had $40, you owe me 3. Very good. Okay, now what? Divide each term by 5. And I'm going to get y is equal to 1/5 x plus 37 over 5. Should we have learned by now that does Yoder care if it's an ugly fraction?
no.
No, as long as it's in its reduced simplest form, I'm okay with it, right? Do we understand that problem? 11. Why is it y equals negative 11?
Because
Because this is going to be what type of a line?
below vertical.
A vertical line at x equals 20. And I need something that is going to be perpendicular to that. So perpendicular would mean what to a vertical line?
It has to go horizontally.
So I have to be 8 down to 11, so I'm going to be right here. And that is going to be taking the y value and setting it equal to y equals negative 11. Another freebie. Do we see that?
Yeah.
Yay or nay? Good. Okay, why is this problem different than the rest of them? I have 2 points. Okay, so I need to find the what here? The slope. So that's going to be x1, y1, x2, y2, so that's 8 minus 8, negative 1 minus negative 7, 0 over 6. So what's 0 divided by anything? 0. Now I want you to think about this. What line has a slope of 0?
Y.
A horizontal line has a slope of 0, and guess what? If you would look at your y values, what are they?
8.
They're both 8, which means this was y equals 8 to begin with the equation, correct? Did I need to actually find the slope? No, if I would have noticed that my y values were both the same, I would have done this was a horizontal line, and I want a parallel line to that horizontal line, which means what? What's parallel to a horizontal line?
Vertical.
Another horizontal line. So I want that horizontal line to go through 6, negative 13, so what's my equation?
Y equals negative 13.
Okay, I hit that really hard today about the horizontal and vertical, didn't I? Okay? Now, what do I want you guys to do for the rest of the remainder of their period? I already have the answer key done. So So what I want you to do is I want you to do your problems, and then after every problem, I want you to come up and I want you to check your answer. Okay? I want you to check your answer. So I'm going to put this up on the board. Come check it when you're done. Any questions over what I just said? Okay, rest of the time it's yours. Tomorrow we have a quiz over this. You have all kinds of stuff to study from, right?